Hey everyone, Crazy Jimmy here with you for another video. I told you I'd be dropping some videos this week. I took what was like a 12 or 14 day absence, I don't know, but I started this new job and within the same company, so I'm still at the same company, just started a new role. And just been busy with that and busy playing records and busy with life. But here we go. I actually hit another record fair, record expo, whatever you want to call it. This one was in Woburn, Massachusetts, and this one was pretty good as well. It was just as many, if not more, curated vendors. When I say curated, vendors that had curated their own records and they kind of brought their own stuff in, rather than vendors that are at every single one of these with the same stuff over and over again. So got to see a few friendly faces that do hit these quite often and happen to bring some different stuff. But for the most part, there's a lot of the same vendors at these. And I'm sure it goes for any state. For any of you watching this, I'm sure you've been to, different record fairs or expos that are kind of like in the same 90-mile radius, and you get like the same vendors over and over again, bringing some of the same stuff. So there was like 50% of that, and then the other 50% were regular vendors that you see, but they brought different stuff or newer stuff, and then the rest were curated, people who curated their own collections that are bringing in either doubles, stuff they want to get rid of, stuff they don't listen to anymore, or maybe they're just getting out of the business or of collecting altogether. But their loss is my gain. I love it when they bring their collections in. So let's get started. First off, the find of the day. This was just sitting there. I always go early bird. I'm always an early bird. But I got there at 9 a.m. and this one I didn't locate till like 10:30. So it sat there for an hour and a half. I'm sure plenty of fingers thumbed through this. Maybe they didn't know what it was. I don't know. But $24 right there. And, this is like in this condition, it's like a $250 record all day long. Yes, I own it. You can probably see it right behind me over my shoulder right there. I own an Italian first pressing and a French first pressing. This is the Italian first press, so this is my third one now. I love this label. Let me show you this label again. So basically, look, I'm not a flipper. I buy to upgrade, or I buy for my collection. That's what I do. I don't buy to flip. However, when I see something that I don't need, this valuable, this cheap, I will get it and then post it to make back all the money I spent at this convention. So basically, what I sell this for, is going to pay for the records and then some that I bought at the convention. So that I'll do. But just beautiful. I mean, I'm not going to leave it there for someone else to grab. It's coming home with me because this day and age, there's so few deals to be had out there like this, that when they do come up, you'd be crazy not to grab it, whether you need it or not. So, I want to say this was 1976. This was released in very small numbers. So had to get it. Black Devil Disco Club. If you want this pressing, the vinyl itself is near mint. I did post it up on Discogs. So anyone who is really interested in this is electronic pop, distorted electronic pop as well. It was just, if you like, what is it, how do you pronounce his name? Moroder or Morioder? I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but what he was doing with Donna Summer and what he was doing on his own and with other artists, this has got a lot of that going on, but there's also more here. This is really great. It reminds me a little bit of Kraftwerk, a little bit of George's work. but you know, it's a little, there's also their own originality thrown in there too. So the vocals too, I love the vocals, especially the distorted vocals. But love this album. Check out the snippets on it if you haven't heard it. You will want this album. So, and there's nothing like an original Italian press, especially on this sweet looking out label. So, you know what? If you want my copy, reach out to me. I'll flip you a deal. So there. Anyways, next up, this was there. Certainly, you know, I love Shrink. I love hype stickers. So, of course, I'm going to grab it. Double hype sticker, factory sealed sticker as well. So there's like 3 stickers on here, a programming sticker. But Dirty Mind, just an absolute top 5 album from Prince. Great stuff there. Was happy to find that there at a great reasonable price. Here's one gatefold in the Shrink. But what makes this one unique is it's an original black label club pressing. And for those of you who don't love club presses, look, club pressings are hit or miss, okay? A lot of times they use their own metalwork for whatever reason, maybe to cut costs, I don't know. But when they did that, you also had this fresh metal work. So these lacquers that were super fresh, and you would get hot stampers at times. And then there were some that used the metal work of the retail press. So this particular one used their own metal work, and I don't know what happened here, but this is just amazing sounding. This club press is so good. This actually sounds as good, if not better, than my Alan Zentz white label promo of this album. So this is the, I want to say this is an RCA club. Let me double check that. Hang on 1 second. Let's see what this is for you. Yeah, I think it's RCA because it's got the R before the number. So it's an R1, I don't have my glasses on, but 104579, something along that line. But black label, got to get the black label. I've heard the Bullseye label club pressings, and I've heard a couple of them. They both stunk. So I wasn't, you know, look, this was in the Shrink. It was, I think it was $20. I took a shot on it. It's black label. I knew it was a club press. I knew it could be a miss. It's a hit, and it's a big hit. All right. Next up, this one here you don't see too often. This is the Raisins. This is 1983 on Snuggle Baby label. So let me show you this label. It's pretty cool. And this is basically consists of 3 power pop maestros, like really legends of the power pop scene from Ohio, in Bob Fetters or Rob Fetters, Bob Nieswanger, and Bam Powell is also in this band. Nick Neisel, I think you pronounce his name, but the Bob and the Rob, those guys are legends in the power pop scene, and this was their only full length. And this album here really is, I mean, this incarnation, the Raisins, is actually the Bears less Adrian Belew. So Adrian Belew did produce this album, so it sounds like the Bears a little bit, but it's a little more, I think it's a little more proggy. It's definitely a pop prog album. More pop than prog, obviously, but just the chops on this, the songwriting on this is phenomenal. This is really hard to find. You don't see this anymore. So to find this at the convention was fantastic. All right, next up, this really caught my eye. This, you know, I saw the pasted on slick and the cool psych picture here. It's very psychedelic. But this is, I guess it's, they call it Follies Bazaar. It's Follies Bazaar Records right there, which I'll take out. It's a private press. I guess it's a bunch of college kids that did this, and they put out a lot of albums on this. I shouldn't say a lot, but a few on this Follies Bazaar label. And they called themselves Follies Bazaar, I guess. This is called Closely Watched Trains, and it's definitely acid folk, little acid pop, but in a little bit of jazz in there. And when I say jazz, I mean jazz. It's like there's a song that, you know, is I wouldn't say Coltrane-esque, but it's certainly got some cool elements, cool jazz to it, cool freaky jazz, a little bit of smooth jazz thrown in for good measure. But it's only a song or two like that. The rest of it is singer-songwriter folk, freak folk, acid folk, little psych folk to go along with that awesome cover. Closely Watched Trains, not the movie, but the album. Name of the album is Closely Watched Trains. And I want to say this was 1973 or 4. But can't pass that up. Saw it, couldn't pass it up. It's got a little bit of a Grateful Dead vibe as well. So if you like the Dead, a little bit of that going on. Next up, I want to thank my buddy Dave, who is a vendor who's always there, but he happens to bring new stuff all the time. Dave has like the best collection of stuff at these events. So I always make it a point to stop in and see him. And he was kind enough to give me this album. Nice gold stamp promo of Prince. This is a fantastic album. Controversy. Another top 5 album from Prince. But thank you, Dave, for this. Really appreciate it. The reason he gave it to me is I bought this from him. An original pressing of the LAs. Yes, the LAs. There She Goes Again, the LAs. That perfect pop song they did. But you know what, there's more to that. There's more than that on this album. So there really isn't anything I dislike on this album. There She Goes Again is the best song on it, but there's plenty of good jangly power pop on here to be had. This is a first UK pressing, and got this from Dave as well. He even had like a first press of Funkadelic's Maggot Brain there. He always brings a ton of heat, but thank you, Dave, for throwing in this Prince album. I really appreciate that. Super cool. All right. Yes, I own this, but it was sealed. $7 sealed. You can't go wrong there. It's certainly, you know, worth a whole lot more than that, even unsealed. But to get a sealed original with no cutout. I mean, every time I've seen this U.S. pressing, this Dunhill U.S. pressing, has always been a cutout, whether it's a hole punch or a cut off corner or a saw cut. This one doesn't have it. $7 sealed. Fantastic. Found this. This was really exciting. An original stereo press on that purple and tan label, that Echo label. I've really been on the hunt for an original mono and original stereo because I only had the yellow labels. So here is the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it's in really nice shape actually too. It's in VG Plus shape, and the sleeve is near mint in the shrink. So anytime you can find an original in the shrink like that, you got to jump on it. And it was very reasonably priced too. So happy there. Next up, the first Critters album. Excellent garage rock, a la garage rock or pop psych, a little mix of both. In the shrink, on the cap label. So really happy to have that. I actually need now just their second album, which I heard is their best album, so I'm gonna look out for that one. I'm a big Dave Edmunds fan, so of course love Sculpture. Definitely wanted to pick this one up, Forms and Feelings. I like it better than Blues Helping. This one appeals to me a little more, has a little more pop going on. But big Dave Edmunds fan, so it's on the Parrot label. It was in great shape, so I was happy to grab that original. All right, Sealed, Tom Fogerty, his band Ruby, and there's Tom right there. But I never really heard anything from Ruby, so I listened to a few snippets while I was there. You know, it was $10 Sealed. No, maybe it was 7. It was Sealed. So I heard a few tracks, and I'm like, yeah, this is good enough. So I grabbed it. I haven't opened it yet. I'm going to open it. Looking forward to that. One more left from this this Woburn Expo. Pearls Before Swine, Balaklava. But, you know, it's got the original price sticker in the shrink, so had to grab it. The only thing it's missing is that is the insert, which I'm kind of bummed about. But to find this in this condition, in near mint condition, all the way around, I had to grab it even without the insert. I can always find one with the insert and get it in there. But that's it from the Woburn event. Really good stuff. So a lot, you know, good enough amount of collectors that brought their curated collections in, or partial collections in, I want to say, not their whole collections, but was able to find some good stuff for sure. And again, thanks to Dave for that Prince album. That was really kind of him to throw that in. He knew I was looking for it, so that was awesome. But anyways, and by the way, the Woburn one had a lot more space to walk around than the Salem, New Hampshire one, which I was thoroughly disgusted with how much room was behind the vendors versus how much room in the aisles there was. People with, you know, there was people with wheelchairs at both, and they could get through the one at Woburn, and the one in Salem they could not, and they were really frustrated, as I was, and many others were. Couldn't even shop it, really. But Woburn was much better. It was laid out much better. So I think it was the same guy that ran both, so maybe he got the point. I don't know. But it was much better. Anyways, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. More to come, so stay tuned.